Very good morning, all of you. Hope you all are doing well. Let's start with today's session, guys. Quick recap of yesterday's session. Yesterday, we saw installation of MySQL Server and then MySQL Workbench. Then we got a feel of using MySQL Workbench. I created one database. Then I switched in that database. Then I created one table and I added some records in it. And then we retrieved those records, right? Then I told you about the different categories of SQL statement. We'll just go through them. And now in today's session, we'll start discussing all these commands one by one. Okay. So yesterday I told you there are five categories. One is data query language, data manipulation language command, data definition, data control, and transaction control. Okay. So SQL commands are divided into different categories. First is data query. Second is data manipulation language. Third is data definition. Fourth, data control. And fifth is transaction control. Actually, I have explained all this yesterday. Again, we will go through it quickly. First comes that is data query language. Now, this is for retrieving the information. Means you're asking for the information to the database management system, and DBMS will retrieve the values from your table and give it to you. Get it? So you're asking for all row, all column, or you're asking all rows but selected column, or selected rows, or you're asking for join of tables, you're asking for aggregate values, anything. But everything you can ask by starting with select query only. So select is the basic query coming under this category. And then along with that, many clauses are there. Select with from, then where, then order by, group by, having, limit, joins. All these are getting attached with this basic query select. So all that we will be learning one by one. Don't worry. So DQL is to retrieve data from the database. You're asking for the information to the database management system. DBMS will fetch the values from your table and present it to you. Okay. So the basic command which come under this category is select. Then comes data manipulation. These are the commands for making changes in the database, like adding new records or deleting existing records or updating the records. Whatever values are there, you're just supposed to modify them. Employee table, you want to increase the salary, okay, or change their department or change their address, then update. New employee has joined, you will insert the record. Some employee has left, so you'll delete the record. So insert, delete, update, they all come under this category. Okay, so DML is used to manipulate data stored in the database. Manipulation can be done in any way. No? You add new record, manipulation. You delete, then also modification. And you're updating, then also modification. So these three commands come under this category: insert, update, and delete, guys. Then the third category, which we saw yesterday, that is data definition language. Data definition means you're defining the schema, you're designing your tables. So creating your tables. What is the name of my table? What columns will be there in it? Names of each column, their data type, constraints on each column. All that we do it using data definition. So in this, the basic command comes that is create table. Okay. Then if you want to alter the structure of your table, like you want to add new columns or you want to drop any columns. Okay. So for that, alter command is given. Then to do the retrieval faster, you add indexes on your table. So all that commands come under data definition. We will be learning them. So DDL is used to define the structure, or actually it should be or schema of the database. Schema means the design. Get it? So overall design, like in my database, employee table will be there. project table will be there, department. Then I'll set the relation between them that employee works in department, employee is working on the project, employee applies for leave. So there is a leave table. So there are different table and then you will form the association between them. That is the relation. So for that, some commands are given like create, alter, drop, truncate, rename, all commands we are going to learn. Don't worry. With the syntax example, I'll be telling you. Then comes data control language. This also yesterday I have told you for authentication and authorization. Authentication means validating whether the user is a legal user or not by verifying the username and the password. Correct? So that is authenticating. And authorization means giving the permissions to some other user. Like you are the owner of the database, but you want to give the permissions to access my database to some other user. So for that, there are commands given like grant. You can take the permission back called revoke. Okay. So they all come under this data control. So deals with control and security. Security means authenticating, correct? And giving the privileges, that is control, authorization. So in that, the commands like grant, revoke, all this thing come. Then comes transaction control language. This also yesterday I have explained you, if you remember, correct? Normally what happens whenever you do any, what is a transaction? That too I told you yesterday. Transaction means a series of operations done on the database in some period of time. Getting in some time interval from time one till time two. Some in some time interval, whatever operations you do on the database will be called as a transaction. By default, what happens? Whatever operations you do in that transaction, whatever operation one, two, they are immediately reflected on the database. Okay? Immediately the changes take place on the database. So what happens is for every command reflecting on the secondary, that many times you are accessing the secondary. Understanding? So wear and tear of your secondary is increasing chances. Life decreases. So in that case, what we can do is instead of doing immediate update, we can go for deferred update. Meaning for some duration, keep doing the operations, but in the primary. And once you issue command commit, then only all these changes which have happened in the primary, at a time only they will be reflected in the secondary. Correct? So for that we need to use this transaction. So you have to indicate here the transaction is started, to start transaction. You want to tell that please make all the changes permanent because till then all the changes were happening in the primary. So you want to tell that please make it permanent. Then commit you can call. Before calling commit, if some problem occur, so you can issue rollback. Then rollback till where? Till the latest save point. So save point, rollback, commit, these all commands come under this. Now generally, if you're planning for a data engineer or a data analyst and all, we seldom need these commands. Generally, those who are at a DBA level and all, or those who are doing full stack program, full stack development and all, they will generally use this. So TCL is used to manage transactions. Commands like commit, rollback, save point, they all, commit will make the changes permanent. Till then, all the changes were happening in primary. So it will transfer it on secondary. Correct? And save points generally we put to indicate till where to roll back. So it will roll back till the latest save point. Correct? Now, I hope the categories are clear to you. Right, guys? You can just give me quick confirmation so that now we can start learning the commands, start practicing them, start solving exercises based on them. Okay? So I need quick confirmation from your side. Okay? Just you can give me the confirmation. Yes, no, or if you have doubt, you can ask me. But please interact. Okay?
Okay, Ajit.
ठीक है. So others also, not only one, as one person
Yes,
has
one we can
one.
continue.
Okay, so only one has taken the responsibility and others are remaining quiet. It should not be like that. All of you interact. ठीक है, चलो. Now, moving ahead, first command we'll see like how to create database because the whole journey starts from there. First, you have to create the database, then you have to enter in that database, and then you have to start creating tables and then add records in it. So all that we will learn. Okay. First, we'll see how to create database. Yesterday, I told you database is like a container of your database objects. Getting? Means within that database, all your tables will be there, your functions, your procedures, your triggers, everything will be stored under what? Under one database. So you can have any number of database. So you can say database is like a container or it's like a namespace. If you have learned some C++ programming, or you can say like in Java, we have a package technique. Database is like one container and within that all your tables are belonging. Okay. So how to create a database? There is a simple create keyword. Create is a keyword, remember. Keywords means reserve words. These are the words which are having pre-decided meaning and their meaning cannot be changed and you cannot use it for multiple purpose. They cannot be overloaded. Overloaded means giving multiple work. No. For what the purpose is, you have to use it for that only. So they are the reserve words. Getting? They have their pre-decided meaning. Whoever has designed SQL, they have decided each and every word's purpose, and you have to use it for that purpose only. Only thing is that it's not case sensitive. You can write in uppercase, lowercase, mixed case, doesn't matter. So first word will be create, then what you want to create, because you can create multiple database objects. Getting? You can create database, you can create table, you can create procedure, you can create function, you can create trigger, you can create view. So everything start with word create. So after that you have to tell what to create. So create database. Database is also a keyword. And then the name of the database. Database name is user defined. Correct? This is not reserved. So this should be some meaningful name. According to the purpose, give some meaningful name. It's an identifier. Like you people have name. Yes or no? Someone is having Kuldeep is there, Ravi is there, right or no? Akshay is there. So these are the names given by your parent, right? With a proper official ceremony, right or no? Naming ceremony. In Marathi we call Barsa, Namkaran. Get it? And then the world is recognizing you with that name, right? So that is an identifier. That is a human given name. Here also, what name to be given to the database is your choice. Only it should follow some rules like combination of letters, digit, underscore, cannot start with a digit, get it? And cannot use the reserve word. This reserve words you cannot use for your database name. Combination of letters, digit, underscore should be there. In the beginning, what should not be there? Digit. Get it? So these are the basic rules which you have to follow. No reserve word can be used. So create database, database name. That's all. Okay. Now, suppose you try to issue this command, and if the database with that name already exists, if it is already existing, and you again try to create it, create database with the same name, MySQL will generate an error that a database with this name already exists. So if you don't want that error to come, then you can use some flags over here. Create database, okay, if not exist. Exist is actually a flag, okay. It's an internal MySQL flag. So if in this flag value is true or false based on that. So opposite you're doing. So if it is not existing, this flag will be false, and false not is true. Correct? So if it is not exist, then only you create your database. So you can avoid that errors. Correct? Like if you issue this command directly, and if the database is already existing, and you try to issue the command again, obviously MySQL will generate error. So you want to avoid that error. So you can say foolproof or robust, you can use this way, if not exist. So it will check if the database doesn't exist, then only it will create it. And if it exists, it will not give you any error. It will just give you a warning like this, a triangle and exclamation. Correct? If it is error, you'll get a red. And if it is valid, you'll get a green. So always prefer for each command, the green sign should come, indicating everything is going fine. Okay, so you can use that flag. It's up to you. Create database name. Generally on the slide, whenever I give any command, I generally give the keywords in uppercase, but as I said, it is not mandatory. Okay, it's not compulsory. Create database name. Or as I said, you can check this. Create database if not exist database. So if this exist is false, now exist is false, meaning the database is not there. So false not is true. Obviously, ना false का complement true होता है and true का complement false. So false not is what true, and therefore it will create that database. Okay, and if it is present, then exist will be true. So true is not is false, and therefore it will not create that database. Okay, okay. So immediately, if you want to see the demonstration, we will start with our MySQL workbench. For you people, I created this as a connection. Without connecting with MySQL server, without connecting to MySQL server, you cannot work in Workbench. Getting Workbench will start. You'll get this environment, but still here it will give you a message. Here a red message will come. Connection failed. So obviously, first the connection with MySQL server should be established, and then only you are allowed to start working in this environment. Okay. If you want to create a new, new query tab, you can create. I'm giving command, see, create database and whatever database name you want. Okay, I'm giving demo DB, right? I'll select it, execute it. You can press Control Enter as well. You can refresh and see this. See, here one demo DB is created. And as I said, if I issue this command again by typing again, the same I'll select and run it again. Okay. So if I run this again, that demo DB is already there. It will give you an error. See here, whatever outputs you are getting here, whatever messages you are getting, that whether the command is successful or error. See, from this color, you should recognize. If there is a red color, it's an error only. Green tick mark, command is successful. You can get an orange exclamation. That is just a warning. It's an information, you can see. So is it giving an error? Can't create database, demo DB, database exists. Getting? So if suppose such error you don't want, then you can add this. If not exist. Correct? This workbench is so smart enough. Everything autocomplete. It guides you. Little bit if you type, automatic it will give you a hint that what, and you can directly press enter instead of typing each and everything. See. Now it is just giving you a warning, means that error is avoided. Understanding? Clear? So this way you can make use of these flags. Then if you want to drop that database, you don't want it. When you drop the database, automatically the tables in that database will also go. Okay? So if you want to drop the database, we have drop command. Okay? So drop also can be used to drop a table, drop a procedure, drop view, drop function. Therefore, you have to tell what to drop. Getting to drop database, okay, and the name of the database, right? Now, if the database exists, it will drop it. But if it doesn't exist, it will give you an error. Means if you try to drop a database which is not existing, obviously it will give an error. Suppose you don't want. Then here you can add flag if exist. Now don't write if not, right? If exist. Okay? So when it will drop only if the database exists. This is a flag, remember, maintained by MySQL. So if that database is existing, if it is existing, then only it will drop it. If it doesn't exist, it will not give you any error. Just a warning and continue it. Correct? So it's up to you how you're going to make use of it. Drop database name, or drop database if exist database name. Okay, see, if suppose I'm dropping the same database, drop database demo DB, you immediately you'll see in this list, this demo DB will go the moment I issue this command. Can you see in the list in the left side, in this left pane, this is called as pane, P-A-N-E, it is not P-A-I-N, that pane and pane, this small parts are called as pane, P-A-N-E. So this, in this pane, is it gone? Okay. And again, if I try to issue it, can you see here in the bottom, red sign has come, indicating the database doesn't exist. So instead of that, if I'm writing if exist, okay, and issue the command, it won't give a warning. It is just giving a, sorry, it won't give you an error. It is just giving a warning message that this database is not present. Okay. So I hope it is clear to you guys, right? Till here, I hope everything is fine. Yes, quick confirmation.
Yes, sir.
Okay, moving ahead.
Yes, Ajay.
Okay, moving ahead. Next is just you want to enter into that database, because unless and until we move in that database, we cannot create tables. Correct? Because how the DBMS will know that this table is to be created under which database? Correct? So you have to switch in that database, connect to that database. Okay. So like if you are Postgres user, you just write \c and the name of the database. Here we will write command use database name. So use database name. Okay. So now what I'll do is I'll create this database again. Again, if you create, when I refresh, you can see. And now use demo DB. Okay, select it. Can you see? Now this is the active database. Here it is shown bold. This demo DB, can you see dark bold is there? It indicates that is the active database. Okay. Then next you just want to see the list of all the databases created. Okay. So there is one command called show databases. There can be many more commands. I'm just going through it. If I encounter some more which can be helpful, I'll keep adding don't worry. Okay? Show databases. It will just show you the list of databases. See. Now in this few we have created, okay, test DBs there, net to net DB, demo DB. Maybe for some other batch I've shown. Few are internal databases which are needed by, which are used internally by MySQL for storing metadata. Metadata means data about data. Means whatever tables we create, their information is also recorded and kept somewhere in other database. It's called as a data dictionary or metadata. So there are some databases which are used internally by MySQL. Correct? So those are few over here listed. Correct? And the remaining are created by we people. So it is just giving the list of all the databases created. Okay. If you're typing any message, I'm not watching it. So if you have some doubt, please ask me, guys. I guess someone is typing the messages, I guess, in the chat. So please unmute and talk with me because it's difficult to go and then read the messages and then communicate. It is a good practice, unmute and directly talk. Because what happens is then others also may get help from that. Okay? And direct communication is more better. Okay? Yes, guys, I'm giving you. No, no one? I'll proceed further then. Okay? Clear? I hope it is clear. Then moving ahead with creating table. Now, once the database is created, then within the database, you can have any number of tables. Table is an organization of rows and column. Rows later will get added. Now we just have to design the columns. Means you have to just tell that what will be the name of your table, what columns will be there, the names of each column, getting their data types, what the data type, then the constraint of each column, if you are adding any constraint on it. So all the things you have to tell using create table. Okay. So now creating the table. Here you'll write create. Create is a keyword. Then what you want to create table. Then the name of the table. Okay. Here also you can use that flag. If exist, if not exist. Okay. Like better here you have to write if not exist means it will create the table only if it doesn't exist. Okay. So create table name. Table name is your provided name. It's like noun. Like in English, we have nouns. Nouns are human constructed. Okay. So you can give any name, but give meaningful name. What information you're going to store, relevant to that only you give. Like if you're going to store information of employee, give the name accordingly. You're going to store the information of product, give accordingly. Understanding? So table name, round bracket, and then you have to give the list of all the columns. Okay? So column name, whatever the column name, column one, then its data type. If there are constraints, you can give the constraint. Constraints you can give at table level also. Same way, column two, its data type. Now, don't worry about the data type. There will be a separate topic in which we will learn the classifications. All the data type, what are different numeric type, character type, Boolean type, date and time, binary. All I'm going to tell you, don't worry. Okay? Same way the constraint, like this, as many columns you have, just put a comma, next column, again put a comma, and when you're done, close round and semicolon. This command is going to create a table with this name. Now, once the table is created, now you can add records in it. Now, how to add records, that too I'll tell you. First, we will just see how to create table. See, create is a keyword, okay? Then table is also a keyword because which database object you are creating? Table. Same keyword is used for procedures, for triggers, everything. Create trigger, create procedure, getting create function, create view. Everything starts with create. Create table, then the name of the table, and then the columns. Every column name, their data type. If you're adding some constraint, like yesterday, I added one constraint. Yesterday, we created one table, if you remember. And
primary key.
remember, no? One table I created that is employee. Yes, yes, someone told right. Primary key. So this way there can be many other constraint. Again, a separate topic will come for constraint. Don't worry. In the subsequent lectures, there will be one topic called constraint. Then primary key, foreign key, unique, check, not null, default, everything I'll tell you. Like this, as many commands, sorry, columns are there, go on writing. And after that, close round semicolon. As an example here, create table. Name of the table is employee. Create is a keyword, table is a keyword. Table name is employee, round bracket. First column is employee ID. Data type is integer. Now, integer indicates in this column, we are only going to enter whole numbers, only whole numbers. Understanding? So in this column, only whole numbers can be given and numbers only. Okay? And extra primary key we have told means the values in this column will be unique, no repetition. All the values will be distinct. Okay? And moreover, it cannot be null as well. Means you cannot give null and no repetition also allowed. Then next column is name. It is varchar 50. Means it is a character data type with size maximum 50. Beyond 50, if you give, it will truncate. And third is salary. If you want here, you can give float as well. But here again, we have given int means numeric whole numbers. Get it? But negative, positive, both allowed. If you want only positive, then you have to add one keyword called unsigned. Okay? So this way the table is created. You can say pictorially. The reality doesn't happen something like that. It is just for your visualization. You're just visualizing that the table looks something like this. This is a just a visualization. For end user, we are going to show like this. Okay? So there is a column called employee ID, employee name, and salary. Okay, guys. So till here, I hope it is clear. Quickly, I'll just show you one table. In this only we'll create table employee. Then I'm adding one column called ID, or if you want EMP integer, primary key, comma. Then the name of the employee, variable character 50. Then the salary, if you want to put float, you can put float. Okay? And here I'm going to complete the table. And in this case also, you are allowed to write that flag if not exist or if exist. Getting? Okay. So actually, when you're creating, use if not exist. When you're removing, that time use if exist. A common sense thing like, okay? When you'll remove, when it is existing, and when you'll create, when it is not existing. So that way you can use it. Now one table is created. Generally, always green tick mark should come, indicating that whatever commands you're typing, they are going perfectly fine, right? Here you can refresh. See, now in this tables section, Then arrow has come. You can click on it. Can you see employee? When you click on employee, it will show you the description of your table. Correct? You can see description by DSC command also. DESC is shortcut for description and name of the table. Getting? It will just give you metadata. Dictionary. You can say data dictionary. Okay, the same information which we got here. See, the column name, the data type, then is null allowed or no? Is it a primary key? The name, its data type, is null allowed? Yes, because we have not given any extra constraint na, here. Okay? Okay, I hope this part is clear. Creating the table is clear. The basic command is at least the basic creating the table is clear to you. Just give me quick confirmation. Just yes, no. Only that much is sufficient.
Yes, Sajid, we understood.
Okay. Then moving ahead of adding the records in it. Now, how to add records in that table. Okay. Because obviously after creating table, then you have to dump record. Now we will manually dump, but like suppose you are a business analyst or you're a data engineer. So they generally get the data from somewhere else and they have to just work on that data. So usually they get data in the Excel file or in a CSV file or in a JSON format. So they have to just transfer that Excel files and all those things into tables in your SQL table. So how to do it? At some time, if it is, if I remember it, I'll show you how to do it. Don't worry. Till the end of the course, I'll show you how to transfer Excel file to table, or you have a CSV file, then how you can transfer it into the table. Generally, those people don't have to manually add the record. Get it? And many times, like if you have any applications and all, like if it's a website or anything, so users only enter the data and that data will get inserted in your table. Correct? So that time we need to use these commands, which I'm going to tell you. So if you want to add record in the table, use insert command. See, insert into. Now insert into is the keyword. Insert is also keyword. Into is also keyword. So insert into table name you have to give. Okay. Then after table name, you can mention the column names also. It is optional, but when to mention that I'll tell you. And please remember, whenever I give any syntax means general grammar. And in that syntax, wherever I mention square bracket, please remember that much part is optional. Means it's not compulsory to give that. So there is an option of mentioning the column names also here. Correct? Column 1, column 2. Now the question is when to mention these column names after that table name. Okay, I'll come to it. But after that, insert into table name and then you have to give values. Values is also a keyword now. And then in round bracket, you can give the list of values. Okay, now list means separated by comma. Okay, and semicolon. So if the values are numeric values like whole numbers floating, just give it. If it is character category or date, write in quote, single quote. Correct? Like name, you'll write in quote. If it is a date, write in quote. Address. Okay? So values means comma separated list of values. Done. Now the question is, this is the basic command. Now the question is when to mention these column names. Okay, so first of all, remember if you are going to give values for all the columns and in the same order in which the columns are in your table, like in your table, these are the three columns like ID, name, and salary. The order, these are the three column, and this is only the order. First is ID, then name, then salary. So when you're going to give values for all the column and in the same order, the order in which the columns are in your table structure, then no need to mention these column names. There is no need of this column names to be mentioned. Get it? So when there is no need to mention column name, when you're not, sorry, you are going to give values for all the column and in the same order. But if suppose you're not going to give values in the same order, one reason, huh? Like first is ID, next is name, next is salary. But while giving values, first I'm giving name, okay? Maybe then I'm giving the ID and then I'm giving salary. Means the values in the order in which the values I am giving, the order of my values is not same as the order of the columns. Then you have to mention the column name here. You have to write here name, ID, salary. First reason. The first reason, I hope you got it. What? When the values provided are not in the same order as the order of your columns, then mention the column names. One. And second, if you're not going to give values for all the column, like for some column, you are not going to provide the value. But now you'll say how it is. So it is possible, like for some column, you have given default value. While creating the table only, you have given some default value. Get it? Like for ID, you have given auto increment. So automatically it will keep taking the next number. First record one, next record two, three, like that. So that time you don't have to give the value for ID or salary or whatever. So meaning when you are not going to give value for all the column, for some column the values are missing, then that time you have to mention the column names. Getting? So again, if you want, I'll repeat. When we have to mention the column name, when you are not going to give the values in the same order as the order of your column. And second, you are not going to give all the values. Means you are not providing the values for all columns. Some columns are missing. Like I am giving only number and name. I am not providing salary. So it will take the default salary. Default value it will take. Like 0. Okay? So now when you are not providing value for all column, you have to mention the column names. Okay? So if you are clear with that rule, when to mention the column name, just can anyone tell me? Getting? So that I am also confirmed that you are clear with it. So when we have to mention the column name, and when it is no need to mention the column name, insert into employee, whatever, insert into student, values, and the list of value. When there is no need to mention the column names quickly. No, I'm expecting answer from your side. Otherwise, guys, it will be only one side communication.
If the order is same, column name is not valid.
Order, and you are going to give value for all the column. First of
Yeah,
all, you are going to give values for all the column and in the same order.
yeah, yes,
Get it? So
yeah,
whatever is the order of your column, like ID, name, salary. So you are going to give value in the same order and for all the column, then no need to mention.
no need to
But
mention. Yeah, if
getting?
the vice versa is then we need to mention the column name.
Meaning when your order is not same, one, and when you are not going to give value for all the column. Like some column values are missing. Now missing means it will take some default value. Okay? So that time you have to mention the column name. Okay? So I hope you are clear with that.
Ajit, I have one question. So let's say if I have 10 columns and I didn't give the column name and I put value for 5 columns, right? So It will accumulate first five column, right?
No, which column names you have given, it will put the value for those column only.
No, no, I didn't give the column name. I just put the values. But I have 10 columns, but I gave values for five only.
No, it will not work only. No? That time
Okay.
it will mention only that please give the column name.
Okay.
Because of the
Insert.
some data types also mismatching.
You got it.
Okay.
So insert. Now I clarify him what he's saying. Insert into table name, and 10 columns are there. And he's saying I'm giving only five values. Get it?
Correct. Correct.
And you have not mentioned the column name also. So ideally, it's not going to work only, because when you are not going to give values for all the column, then it is a rule, no? You have to mention the column name. Because just now we discussed that thing only. No?
Okay. So I
Just
have to
now our
give the
discussion.
give if I give 10 values, then it will take accordingly, right?
Yes, yes.
Okay.
If
Got
you
it.
give
Thank you.
10 value and in your table also there are 10 column, then no need to mention the column name. Correct? But if you have given only 5 value, in the table there are 10 column and you didn't mention the column name only, it will not work only. It will tell that please mention the column name. Correct? Because then it doesn't know for which 5 I have to take default. Right? Because you gave 5. Remaining which 5 I should take default. How it will know on its own. So that time you give your column name, whatever column 1, column 2, whatever, 5 column. So it will take value for this 5 only. And now remaining 5 which you haven't given, for that it will take which value? The default value. Okay? So in short, whenever you are not giving values for all the column, when you are not giving values for all the column, that time you have to mention what? Column names after that table name. Okay? Command is like this: insert into table name, then give the column names. Sometimes giving column name is a good practice also. It is like for a readability. It improves the readability. From this, we come to know that these are all the columns of that table. So sometimes giving column name doesn't make any problem. Rather, it improves the readability also. Values and then the list of values. Okay. As an example, we will just now we created employee table. So in that, I'll add insert into employee. I'm mentioning the column name. Then the values. First, 1 Ram Joshi 4502, 2 Sita Kare 5500. As many columns you want, you can go on add. Okay? I hope it is clear. And after the records are added, you can visualize like that in the table, these two records have gone. Okay? Now, quickly for this table, if I add records, insert into employee, values, and go on adding values. As many records you want, you can go on adding. Okay? Right? I'll just, now you can see, as I've given values for all the column and also in the same order, ID name salary. Here also ID name salary. Therefore, there is no need to mention the column name. See here, I have not mentioned the column name. Right? Three records are added. Try adding like this. Insert into employee and values and try to give value 4. Okay? Okay? And I'm giving only 2 values. Does it give an error? So that's what I wanted to say. When you're giving only the less values, then the number of column. then it is mandatory to mention the column name. I hope it is clear. Getting? So as he said, like if I have 10 column, but I give only 5, then will it take first 5 and remaining 5 default? Whom to be given default that you will mention in the column name. Means whenever the values are less, you have to give the column name. Get it? So now I'll mention the column name like ID. I guess I've given employee ID and the name. Okay. Now I have mentioned the column name. So these two values will go for that. So what will be the third column? By default, 0 it will take. The record got inserted. And if you check the fourth record, salary will be default 0 because you have not given anything, a salary float. So the default value is 0. So I hope it is clear now. You should now conclude. Now conclude from this that whenever the values are less, you have to mention the column name. Or values are all, but not in the same order, the order of your column. Then also you have to mention the column name. Okay? Now you want to see how many tables are created. Like just now we saw how many databases are created. See this way, show databases. Same way you can see how many tables are created. In current database, it will just show the tables in current database by using command show tables. Okay, so now actually we have created only one table. Suppose for time being, one more table I'll create. Create table DEPT with DID, integer, primary key, dname, varchar, 50 suppose. Okay, one more table if I create table project ID, integer, primary key, project name, 50. For time being, there can be many more fields in the project. The technology, then the start date, then the estimated duration. So many things can be there. Okay. So one more. First, I've not created this. Okay. Then I'll create this. Now, altogether, 3 tables are there. Can you see 3 tables? So if I issue this command, show tables, okay, it will give you the list of all the tables which are created till now in the current database. Currently, you are active in DemoDB. So under DemoDB, there are 3 tables. See, DPT, employee, project. So these are just debug commands. Like, these are the commands just to get the information. Okay. And if you want to see all the values in your table, whatever records are there in my table, then we have select command. Select. Now in select, you can relate like the select is for printing. Ideally, it is not happening just for your understanding. Like we do printing in other languages, like in Java, we do system.out, or in Python, we do print, somewhat like that. To print something, select. If you want to display all the columns, write star. Selected column, give the column name. And then main thing you have to mention the table name. That is from table. Okay. So it is going to display all the records and all the column. Means all row, all column. All row, all column. Now it'll say if I want selected row, then you have to use where clause. We will be learning in one lecture, everything is not possible. Correct? Remember, Rome was not built in a night. बोलते हैं ना एक रात में नहीं बन गया. So gradually you have to learn. Correct? Everything is to be learned gradually. One day it is not possible. To see all the values of specific column, then mention the column name like that. Select whatever column name from table name. And all row, all column you want, then write star from table. Now, record filtering, then we will be adding where clause, then you want to sort the records, then order by, if you want to limit the records, so many things one by one we will be learning. Don't worry. Okay? See, I'll just give select star from employee. Can you see? Is it giving a null value? I told null, zero, it is taking null. It will give null value to the salary. Why? Because while inserting that record, you didn't give salary for this Bharat Yadav. For Bharat Yadav, no salary. So as one column is missing, you have to mention the column name, guys. It is uh, strict rule that you have to mention the column name. When to mention the column name? When you're not going to provide value for all the column. And second, when you're not going to provide the values in the same order, that time you have to mention the column names. Correct? So by default, it has taken salary as null. And selected columns you want, like you just want to display the name and the salary from employee, then mention that specific column names. See. It is just printing. It is not doing anything with your original data. Original data is there in the table. It is just retrieving it and presenting it to the end user. Correct? So end user is able to see the names and the salary. Okay? Okay. So I hope this part is clear. Now we have to solve one exercise. We will solve this in the next session. Okay. Then few exercises I'll give it to you. Then we have to dive into a topic called data types. Then we'll see each data type in detail. Okay. This way, moving ahead. After data types, then we'll see different constraints. Okay. Then we will be learning about foreign key, primary key, how to set association between two tables, all that. Okay. So for today, we have to take a pause here and